bridge would have some benefits for the traveling public as a whole because, you know, obviously it's a county road and anyone can drive on it. They can at this time, and as you know, the highway closes when the river's high, and this bridge is in a little better location. The thought is that it would, you know, not close as readily. I guess anything can be closed if you get a bad enough storm. But, so, you know, but I've made it real clear here that as far as match funds or a lot of department staff time, unless the board would authorize it, I'm not telling the tribe that they've got a green light, that we're just ready to go. I think I've been clear in that. I'll make that clear. They do have a study, as I mentioned, by T.Y. Lin that pretty clearly identifies their bridge project, and there's a, you know, a real desire on their part to move forward, and they feel like they need this step to get a commitment for some money from the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So that's why I brought it forward. I thought, well, if they feel like this is what's stopping them from their next step, I'll at least bring it to you. You might say, as you can tell, I'm not a strong advocate for it. It just looks like it probably wouldn't hurt anything.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman?
Continue.
That I would support it as long as this, what you've just said here, becomes part of the record that you can use or we refer to when we move to the next level, where in fact pressure is being put on you or being put on the Board of Supervisors to do this or do that, unless we've got a clear idea as to where we might be able to pin this down.
Supervisor Pinchas.
Well, first of all, when it comes to a specific project like a bridge, I don't think in the last 20 years that the county, or even longer than that the county has built a bridge that the county's had over a 7 or 8, 10% match at the most. Has there been, Howard?
Well, 20% was the old match. Under BIA, it's still 20. The new HBP is, the match is 11.47%. They've upped there to 88. So yeah, 88.53. Yeah, so it is a lot better.
Yeah.
But John, it's a $14 million project. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even got the 11.47.
No, I'm just saying, but all this resolution, the way I see it, it gives them a step till maybe they'll be put higher on the list for BIA funding is all. I don't see the downside for the county. This doesn't imply that we're going to be basically be their partners on a $14 million or whatever bridge. I mean, it just makes maybe their process a little better to get them a little higher on their funding list. We're not committed to any part of the requirement by joining this resolution.
Under number 3 in the resolution, I say I'll communicate through normal channels with the board about any proposals they've got. I mean, a normal channel could be my director's report, and the dais could just look at me and go, don't spend any more time on it, we're not interested, and that would nix it. I'm not going to run around doing a lot of work on anything till I come back and talk to you guys.
You're a wise man, Howard. Okay, what's the action of the board on this?
I would move to recommend it.
I misspoke. There is a hand of public comment, if you would so consider. Public comment on this, please step forward, state your name, and keep your comments 3 minutes, please.
I'm sorry to break in at this point in time, but I've lived in the South Coast for all my life, and my name is John Bauer. Wallala is independent from other areas of the South Coast, and to hear the term bridge come up is a wonderful solution for a serious problem that we have on the coast. And I didn't know for sure if that was part of what Howard had in mind here when he looked at this particular project. But the important thing is that if we look at where our services are, that is Caltrans and Mendocino County, they're both sitting up in a little town north of the floodplain of the Garcia River on Highway 1. And if there's a problem for 17 miles south of there, it's going to take another 2 hours plus another 2 hours to get over to deal with it. If that bridge were in place, it would in fact be a godsend for MTA, for school. School wouldn't have to close. Oh gosh, the river's flooding. The school's closed. Everybody has to go out of school. I think it's a vital need for that particular community. The coast, Highway 1 for sure, because who knows when or if Caltrans will do anything with the flood area. And it's all a plus plus, provided, it can happen. Clearly, Mendocino County hasn't been able to place a temporary bridge in there for years because of some of the environmental impacts of dragging a bridge across the Garcia River. It would be fabulous to have a higher bridge across there, and it would be great for all the communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bauer. Other members of the public wishing to speak to this item? Okay, seeing no one step forward, Supervisor, you were about to say?
Yes, I was about to move the recommended motion, which is to authorize the department to send these letters to the department.
The recommended motion.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded for the recommended motion. Any discussion to the motion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Moving to the next item was a timed item at 2:30, and it's presentation and update report on discussion of the wave energy development. Sponsor is the CEO's office. Mr. Kaler.
Good afternoon, Chairman, board members, staff. My name is Paul Kaler. I'm the Deputy Chief Executive Officer. We're here today to discuss wave energy and recent developments in wave energy. I've submitted an agenda staff report. This issue really came to the board's attention back in September 2007 when the board asked for a presentation on wave energy and authorized travel to the executive office. In October 2007, the board authorized the county to proceed with a motion to intervene with the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission on Pacific Gas and Electric's Wave Connect project. In November 2007, the board authorized the county as well as the city to co-sponsor a wave energy forum that was carried out on January 19th, 2008. On March 11th, the board further authorized 6 actions that the executive office is authorized to attend stakeholders meetings. 2 is to communicate and coordinate with other Northern California jurisdictions. 3 was to work with the U.S. Department of Energy on the development of wave energy seminars. Number 4 was to work with the city of Fort Bragg in the establishment of a wave energy developers deposit account. 5 was to work with the city of Fort Bragg to organize a possible stakeholders group of groups. Number 6, perhaps I would reference that over to County Council because that was action for further legal actions to be taken on behalf of the Board of Supervisors for the county. This item was agendized not so much for further action. As a matter of fact, it's not agendized for action at all, but since this board was going to be visiting Fort Bragg today and that Fort Bragg is the center or ground zero for wave energy and wave energy development, many times our citizens don't have a chance to travel to Ukiah to express their thoughts and opinions, and since this is a developing issue, it was agendized so this board would have an opportunity to discuss the issue as well as hear from concerned members of the public. So with that, I'd be open to answering any questions from the Board of Supervisors.
To the board. Questions? Okay, seeing no huge amount of energy up here, I'll move to public comment on this issue, and I would ask that you step forward to the podium, state your name, and keep your comments at 3 minutes. Wow. Yep. There is one speaker card, Mr. David Gurney, and from Fort Bragg.